Okay, I want you to forget everything you think you know about royalty. We're going to talk about a woman who wasn't born into power at all. She had to claw her way to it, and in the process, she saved an entire empire from total collapse. This is the story of Empress Theodora.
So, let's just imagine for a second. You are the ruler of the most powerful empire in the world. But you wake up one morning, your capital is literally on fire, there's a revolution at your front door, and your throne is about to be yanked right out from under you. What's your next move?
Now, this wasn't just some hypothetical question. This was the brutal, terrifying reality of the Nika Riots in Constantinople. A massive, violent uprising had completely swallowed the city, and the entire Byzantine Empire was just hanging on by a thread.
So what did the guy in charge, Emperor Justinian, decide to do? Well, his plan was pretty simple. Run. Yep, he was all set to abandon his city, abandon his throne, and just save himself. But his wife, Empress Theodora, she had a radically different idea. While the emperor was basically packing his bags, she made a decision that would completely alter the course of history. Facing almost certain death, she refused to run. She was going to stay. And you know what saved the empire? It wasn't some secret army or a new weapon. It was a speech. Theodora reportedly stood up and just shamed the emperor and all his advisors with words so fierce, so powerful, that it lit a fire under them. So they stayed, they fought, and they crushed the uprising. Her courage, her words, saved their rule.
Which just begs the question, right? Who was this woman with a spine of steel who stood her ground while an emperor was getting ready to bolt? To really get that, we have to go back, because her story is even more incredible than just this one moment.
Her journey to the throne. It's nothing short of miraculous. Seriously, it was a climb from the absolute bottom of society all the way to the very, very top.
You see, the historical record calls Theodora an actress, but we have to understand what that actually meant in the Byzantine Empire. More often than not, it was a polite way of saying she was a sex worker. She came from a world with absolutely zero social standing.
Just think about the sheer scale of that jump. To go from being a social outcast on the lowest possible rung of the ladder to becoming the empress of the most powerful empire on earth. I mean, that's a journey that's almost impossible to even wrap your head around. The social canyon she had to cross was just immense. So how on earth did she do it? Well, definitely not by playing by the rules. The records are pretty clear. She had a mind like a steel trap. She was witty, she was brilliant, and she was famously sharp-tongued. Qualities that completely captivated the future emperor and helped her navigate the treacherous politics of the court.
But here's the thing. Theodora didn't just marry into power and then fade into the background. No way. She became an active, essential part of the government. She wasn't just an empress, she was a co-ruler.
And just look at the areas where she had her hands. We're not talking about small stuff. She was directly involved in shaping imperial policy, debating complex church doctrine, pushing for legal reform, and, this is a big one, creating social protections for women, which was likely inspired by her own harsh past.
Let's just be perfectly clear about this. Theodora of Byzantium co-ruled the empire. Justinian might have been the one wearing the crown, but she was right there beside him, his equal partner, a true sovereign in her own right.
So, what is the legacy of a woman who just shattered every expectation of her time? She wasn't just some empress in a pretty crown. She was the architect of survival, both for herself and for the empire she helped lead.
But, history hasn't always been very kind to her. For centuries, a lot of the stories have focused almost entirely on her controversial past, using the insults written by her political enemies to try and diminish her incredible achievements and paint her as just some kind of temptress.
So it all forces us to ask, who was the real Theodora? Was she the outcast actress, the brilliant political operator, the reform-minded empress, the savior of the throne? The truth is, she was all of those things. Her life gives us a totally new definition of what it means to be royal. And it's captured perfectly in this idea. Being royal doesn't mean being born noble. It means surviving. It's about having the will to endure, even when the odds are impossible. And by that measure, Empress Theodora might just have been the truest royal of them all.